Wife sold my fishing boat on my retirement day, so I retired her from being my wife. She learned actions have expensive consequences. Update 2. When she came home that afternoon, I was sitting in the kitchen with a folder open in front of me. She walked in, saw the papers, and her face went white. Going through my personal things now, she said, trying to sound indignant, but I could hear the nervousness underneath. Personal things? You mean the evidence of how you've been planning to betray me for months? She sat down across from me, and for the first time since yesterday, she looked uncomfortable. I knew you'd overreact. That's exactly why I didn't tell you. Overreact? You sold my boat for less than half its value to your friend's husband. You planned this for months. You lied to my face every single day. I didn't lie, I just didn't see the point in arguing about something that needed to be done. Needed to be done. Needed to be done. We have $40,000 in savings, we have no debt. What exactly needed to be done? She shifted in her chair. We need that money for retirement, for travel, for living. You can't just spend our golden years playing with boats. Our golden years, this is my retirement. We're talking about something I've worked 37 years for, and that boat wasn't playing. It was my plan, my dream. Dreams don't pay bills, neither do we. We're financially secure. This wasn't about money, and we both know it. She stood up, trying to regain control of the conversation. Fine, you want to know the truth. I was tired of watching you waste every weekend on that thing. I was tired of being married to someone who cared more about a piece of fiberglass than his own wife. There it was, the real reason, not money, not practicality, control. She wanted to control how I spent my time, what I cared about, what brought me joy. And when she realized retirement would give me more freedom to pursue what I loved, she decided to eliminate it entirely. So you thought you'd just make that decision for me? Someone had to be the adult in this relationship. That phrase hit me like a slap. The adult, as if working for nearly 4 decades, providing for our household, maintaining our home, planning for our future, somehow made me the child in this equation. I stood up slowly, looking at this woman who just revealed exactly what she thought of me, my judgment, my priorities, my autonomy. Tell me about Rick Henderson. What about him? How long have you two been discussing my personal business? Her face flushed. It's not like that. Linda mentioned he was looking for a boat, and I thought it would work out for everyone. Work out for everyone except the person who actually owned the boat. You're being ridiculous. Am I? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been having private conversations about my property with another man, negotiating deals behind my back, and making decisions about my retirement without involving me at all. She opened her mouth to argue, but I held up my hand. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to call Rick Henderson right now, and you're going to tell him the sale was unauthorized and needs to be reversed. I'm not doing that. The deal is done. The deal was made without the owner's consent. That makes it invalid. You can't prove that. I smiled for the first time in 24 hours. Actually, I can, because you forged my signature on the title transfer. Her face went completely pale. In all her planning, she'd made one crucial mistake. She'd assumed I'd never fight back. The look on her face when I mentioned the forged signature told me everything I needed to know. She hadn't expected me to check the paperwork. She hadn't expected me to fight back at all. For 15 years, I'd been the accommodating husband, the one who kept the peace, who let small things slide for the sake of harmony. She'd mistaken patience for weakness. That was about to change. The next morning, while she was at work, I drove to downtown and walked into the offices of Peterson and Associates, the law firm that had handled our house purchase years ago. David Peterson remembered me and listened carefully as I explained the situation. Document fraud is a serious matter, he said, reviewing the title transfer I brought with me. This signature doesn't match the one on your driver's license at all. She didn't even try to make it look authentic. What are my options? Several. We can pursue criminal charges for forgery and theft. We can file a civil suit to recover the boat, or its fair market value. We can also explore whether this constitutes financial abuse, especially given the pattern of deception. Pattern of deception. Those words stuck with me as I drove home. This wasn't an isolated incident. Looking back, I could see it clearly now. The way she'd gradually taken over all our financial decisions, how she'd convinced me we couldn't afford things I wanted while spending freely on her own interests, the way she dismissed my opinions about our retirement plans, while making unilateral decisions about our future. I spent the afternoon documenting everything. Bank statements showing her spending patterns versus her restrictions on mine. Emails where she'd committed us to social obligations without asking me. Photos of expensive purchases she'd made while telling me we needed to be more careful with money. A timeline of major decisions she'd made about our shared life without including me in the discussion. By evening, I had a comprehensive picture of 15 years of gradual control and manipulation. The boat sale wasn't the beginning of this behavior. It was just the first time she'd been bold enough to do something so obviously wrong that I couldn't ignore it. Now you can watch the third part by pressing share and more.